Game Breakers May League of Legends 5-on-5 Grand Finals to be determined coming out of the losers bracket to fight No Money, No Honeys in the winners bracket for a revenge match as No Money not to be determined into losers.
Absolutely, win or go home, and on the other side, win and go home.
Win and get home with money.
With money.
And Riot points. 3,200 Riot points in Viable for first place, along with the Triumphant Riot skin. For a small history lesson, even though it was just a couple minutes ago, the previous match between these two teams was rather one-sided.
It was. It was really a testament to how the constitution fortitude of to be determined for holding off for 50 minutes.
It was by far the longest game of the tournament. They stayed alive for more than twice as long as any other opponent No Money No Honeys has fought today. Which just, I mean, that tells you right there. This rematch is the game to look for, and I'm excited to see it in grand finals.
Yeah.
Tell Angelo he's a nerd for me. Wow. Wow.
Angelo, you're a nerd.
This guy
SG told me to tell you that.
In all the way from Georgia to call me a nerd.
Are you a nerd?
I am kind of a nerd.
Well, at least we're stating facts.
At least it's a fact instead of fiction. So,
like if we said you were way too tall and fat.
What if I was White Drake? I'm never gonna let that guy leave that down. Being White Drake is a testament to many things.
Where is White Drake on here?
White Drake is Kimura, and I'm switching the stuff. Ooh, wait. Ooh. There we go. Done. So, off to a slow start. Not really any invades. Invades, as we were talking with the players earlier, not really a thing, especially since the 4.7 buff to early trinkets.
Oh, yeah.
A quick...
I am loving the 4.7 buff.
So Defan landed an early hook there, which ended up opening a lot of possibility for damage on Kimura, but the twitchy reaction speed and turnaround damage on Risen Bane. Oh man, that shotgun is just putting Kimura so far ahead in terms of a life lead.
Corky's already popping pots, and so is Thresh.
We've got pots up on their lane partners as well. And, oh man, forces the Valkyrie as well to be determined. Just so
are doing a great job of zoning out Corky from getting any of his farm.
Now, one of the reasons I like... I as a Zyra player, like playing against Thresh as Zyra, is that you can throw down plants and just leave.
Yeah.
And they will do a lot of work for you that is completely no risk.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it gives you a version of brush control that doesn't cost money because you have the plants. And Thresh, like Blitz, is one of those champs that really benefits from having brush control, and you just flat out can't establish brush control against Zyra.
Absolutely. If you can hide in a brush as Thresh and just land a hook,
a flay, or whatever it may be,
that it needs, then you're going to tend to have a successful day. But when you have Zyra, Italy, Caitlyn putting traps or plants down in the bush, it's not going to work out too well.
And real quick here, I want to talk about the mid CS advantage. It's 4 minutes in, and he is doubling CS. The Kassadin player, whose name I will forever be temp name, is already establishing a dominating lead. And a lot of that can be given to not only the Chalice start, but also the fact of what a lot of, the 3v2 in bot. I'll come back to that thought. Kimura taking a lot of damage, and they're forced to blow exhaust to disengage Wukong.
Wukong trying to take it back here.
Now, with how deep No Money No Honey's bot lane was, that was pretty impressive. They managed to stay alive.
It was nice that they got out. Especially with having Wukong, who has a lot of mobility.
Yeah. And we've got Elise coming through lane. Shorter Ace looking to make his first big play of the game. What's it going to be? Infinity Dust is still hanging around, but he doesn't have a whole lot of HP if he needed to fight really hard. Oh, flashes in for the flay. And there's the Lantern,
and
but
the
Shorter Ace within.
And Zyra goes down as first blood to Wukong.
And Defan is going to fall to Zyra Plants, but Kimura is far too deep and takes a turret shot. Corky gonna Valkyrie in. Is he gonna pick up the kill? He does pick up the kill on Graves. Shorter Ace picking up the double. Now, that was really well executed by To Be Determined. I honestly thought
Yes.
that when Shorter Ace came down for the counter engage, that was going to be it.
I agree. I thought he was maybe going to scare them out of lane. I didn't think that there was going to be much of an engage going on.
So, either way, well played by both teams. We did end up seeing Short Ace pick up an eventual kill advantage.
Absolutely.
And you know, getting the ball rolling on Elise, getting that haunting guys it's a good start.
Yeah.
Especially if you can shut down Wukong, because Wukong is a champion who he does really well running on low gold count, but once he gets gold count, I mean, that's a whole different story.
Yeah. Back to the CS advantage at
In
mid.
Oh my gosh,
is
23
very
to
surprising to
45.
me, especially with Ziggs being such a poke champion
All right.
and Kassadin being melee.
So, in my opinion, the Kassadin rework did wonders for his early laning game against AP mids. Now, this is because, and a lot of people always try to be like, oh, well, how are you getting harassed if they're always silenced? Well, here's the deal. You walk up to somebody, you chuck your bolt, they chuck their fireball, and you guys trade. And that's it.
Right.
With the new bolt, what happens is you instantly get the shield, preventing the upfront damage. And there was no follow-up damage coming anyway, because they're only going to get one spell at level 2.
Yep.
So giving that damage block really, really early in the game has caused him to just be, his trading potential in lane against AP mids is just so much better as a result of that. He's not going to have the best time stopping all-ins later in the game because he doesn't have silence, but in terms of early game trading, it's definitely a huge buff in my opinion.
And Thresh slowed by the plants, taking a lot of damage and forced to buy and then use pots again.
Yep. And Forever Twisted just laying on the pressure on Fugues. Jack's not really having a whole lot of success in top lane. Sorry, let me take that back. He's got a CS lead, but he's just constantly being pressured by Kayle.
Well, maybe that's where he wants her to be. It sets her up great for ganks for later on. And so long as he can maintain that CS advantage and keep her off of the tower too much, then it's not too much of a deal.
Sure.
Also, I was speaking to Jax earlier, and he wanted you to know that his name is pronounced Fugus.
Fugus. My bad. My bad, duds. I'll get that. It's not Fugues.
Not Fuge.
It's Fugus.
Although he did say, my name's not Fuge, it's Fuge. Because he
It was probably for Hokogats.
probably heard it enough that he maybe is changing it.
Fugus. Fugus. All right, I'll get that right from here on out. Either way, Shorter Ace with a brave move invading bot jungle. Oh, and we're actually going to see a
Absolutely, we're
3v3
gonna see a
here.
3v3
Jungler on jungler.
Zyra goes down, melted,
quickly falling to the Corky Spray Gun.
and couldn't land any of her
Uh-oh,
after death
here comes
attack.
Kassadin. It's being pinged out by Ziggs, though, so they do know he's coming. And both teams back off. And Cass just blocking so much of Ziggs' damage with
He
the
is
shield.
blocking a lot of damage.
And so long as he last hits with the auto attack enhance, he's never going to run out of mana.
Yeah,
And that was a kind of a problem earlier, and that's the reason normally you saw him start with Chalice with Flask is because he ran out of mana to continue to Q people. But with the change to his auto attack buff, his W, it's really brought a lot more synergy to his overall kit.
he's definitely not nerfed. It is definitely just a rework.
I love me some Void Man, and I know a thing or two about that champ. And Temp just going
Dick's
for
taking a lot of damage.
Yep,
Meanwhile, Kassadin takes none.
Now this is really impressive in favor of Temp because he is staying in advantage without blue. Ziggs has blue.
He does have blue now.
Yep, so I mean, the fact that he's able to fight one of the strongest mids in the game. Oh, and Forever Twisted.
Wukong coming in with an ult, KO counter ult.
And Shorter Ace for a clean disengage.
And Wukong dives anyways.
Yep, he did flash to try to get out, but Shorter Ace is going to pick up the kill here. And
Maybe Fugus can get the kill back.
under the tower, they're not going to,
He's
nope, not going to go for it. Cocoon was probably just coming off cooldown.
Most likely.
Yep. So that would have been, he would have fallen here. And, ooh, is this going to be... Now there are too many minions. And there it is.
There it is. That's the dive.
Yep.
Now, going back to the last game, at this point in the last game, there was about a 5K gold lead already in favor of No Monies, No Honeys. And this
That's
game,
been tied up.
we are having, it's a very close
completely
game.
tied up. We don't see a huge amount of kills in favor of one champion, the exception of being shorter aces, 3 kills, you know, having just about everything for No Money, No Honeys. But
Absolutely.
To Be Determined is looking in a good position to reset the bracket.
Yep.
You guess. It's not Fuge, because then it's like huge. It's a pun.
I don't know.
Come on. I got to make a
Hugus is the hugest. You can still make
You
puns.
still make the puns. Wukong picking up his Spirit of the Elder Lizard, and Jack's finishing his Bilgewater. The early Stinger. I was like, I'm not going to call it Nash Force Tooth, because it's not Nash Force
We're
Tooth.
building there.
Yep. It just is so powerful for Kayle because it gives her, I think, what most people overlook is the mana regen in lane.
That's true. And she will. Well,
Or, sorry,
Stinger doesn't actually give mana regen, but it gives you that cooldown.
The CDR, which gives you the
And Kassadin dives in and
really
takes no
quick kill and
damage
slipe
thanks
in.
to his shield.
The CDR gives you the Righteous Fury, which gives you the last hits for Doran's, where you give you the mana.
Absolutely. It's a very well thought out combo. Wukong coming in to get
Great
the counter kills
from Zyra.
Zyra goes down again. He is definitely taking all of the hits.
And a
for her
TP
team.
coming out from Jax. Jax coming in to clean up the fight. They are going to pick up a kill on Team
flash by
Yura
Graves,
here.
but it's not enough. Kassadin coming back in.
Oh, just
and Jax
Fugus is
melting.
just so big.
Fugus is the hugest.
Fugus is the hugest.
Picking up the double there.
Oh man,
Unofficial
that was just
triple kill.
such a great teleport. And Kale's TP was down because he came to TP top to reinforce it right after Elise died. But like we mentioned earlier, if you leave that lane, he will destroy your tower.
Absolutely, and doing so has kept them tied for gold despite them getting the kill lead.
And if we look at it in the long run, that tower is going to end up being more valuable than these paltry mid-game kills.
You can get all the kills you want, but it's the nexus that you want.
You're right. And the tower is like a definitive step. It's a permanent kill. You can't say that for respawning champions. And Slifen looking to, counter push a bit, getting some pressure on the mid.
With Ziggs's passive and any amount of AP just means that you can start to destroy towers.
Yep. And it looks like we have some wards going out on Dragon. Would not be surprised to see a Dragon attempt following any type of kill here. Shorter Ace not quite as active in this game as he has. Sorry, take the back. He's 5 kills. I'm wrong.
Yep.
Normally he's like actually everywhere because he's playing Lee Sin, so I'm like expecting to see him every time the screen moves.
Not so much anymore, but still establishing a definitive lane presence.
Yep.
However, most of it has been on the bot lane, and as I'm saying that, now he goes top.
He is always, he's a strong jungler. He knows what to do and where to be. He's constantly reinforcing top.
Wukong coming in
Infinity
again
with
on
a
the
good
bot lane.
ult. This is going to be a double kill easily. Zyra falls. Kimura, there's a teleport onto the... Oh, it's canceled quickly. Now Kayle teleported onto the plant, but seeing that may not have been the best choice because of how quickly his teammates evaporated. Wukong taking so much damage.
And Kassadin
almost
gets out.
I think that was the red buff that ended up killing him. Now this is looking rough for No Money, No Honeys. Now, To Be Determined has in 100% of their tournaments knocked No Money, No Honeys into losers. Is one way to think about it.
That is an interesting.
It's a way that to torque the stats a bit. Shorter Ace probably not gonna.
Tries to take the dragon or at least stop them from getting it, and ends up.
Is he gonna live? Nope. There's the. Oh, what? The caster minion. There it is. Okay.
Ends up giving the kill.
Oh my gosh. So, with that double kill, No Money, No Honeys is actually saying, hey, no.
Yeah.
You guys are getting ahead of yourselves. We've beaten you 2-1. The score is in our favor. You're going to have to earn this every step of the way. And it actually looks like we have Fugus pushing down that top tower, looking to get even with Forever Twisted.
Jax, just like Kayle, does have a ton of siege potential.
Now, Twisted has been playing Kale all tournament, which is interesting to me because he's normally like, oh sorry, he picked Shyvana once, but normally he's like a Shyvana, Renekton, Olaf, like I'm a bruiser laner.
Yeah.
Like a classic top laner. So these Kale picks are interesting to me.
Kassadin waiting in the game.
Ooh, Kassadin.
Exploding on to Slifen there.
These Kale picks may be as a result of his synergy that he's trying to find with these new teammates. That's I mean, sometimes a change of pace is what you need when you're changing your team up.
Yeah.
So, Elise up 5-3. However, Zyra has given up quite a few kills. She does have a fair amount of assists and a fair amount of...
She's definitely been involved. She's given up those kills in order to save her other teammates who have...
Now, to be fair, earlier we talked about how Zyra doesn't really have a disengage.
Yeah.
She's not hard to kill, which
Right.
is probably one of the reasons that she has a passive that revolves around her dying.
Exactly.
Defon looking to fall quickly to just, oh my gosh, so much damage from Graves and Elise
that's
there.
a bot tower.
Yep, very easily. Oh, we got Wukong and Ziggs coming to reinforce, but oh, Kassadin looking to head them off. We got a bit of fighting going on top, but I'm really...
Hugest being the hugest on top.
Twisted, not really. Does he have his ult?
Both flashes were down.
Don't think he wanted to use ult there. Fortunately, maybe he didn't think he would tie quite so fast. So much damage from Cass, Elise, Zyra. Let's give credit to Zyra as well.
Absolutely, a great ult there.
Yep.
Kassadin chasing down lane.
No, I don't think Corki's going to be able to get out of this safe. Oh, actually with the Lantern. There we go. Take that back. Lantern can save anyone from anything.
Absolutely.
You can be in the Baron Pit with 5 men on you. If there's a Lantern there, you're safe. Don't worry about it.
You just have to grab it.
Yep.
Tips for everyone who doesn't grab your support's Lantern.
Yes.
You should grab it because it's life-saving.
Unless you're not the guy that wants to get out. If you're Cho'Gath and you're like running out there and your Jinx is at 10%, you're like, I'm gonna grab the Lantern because why not? That's kind of a dick move. So either way, temp name. He's having success with Kassadin. He's definitely been able to pick up kills on Slifen.
He's got the gold lead on Slifen as well. He's already finished an ROA and looks like he's working on his Lich Bane.
Yep. Now, his changes to Netherblade have done wonders in terms of Lich Bane because they share similar cooldowns. It gives him a reason to be mashing spells for continuous damage in melee. It's brought a lot to his sustained damage game. I like the new Kassadin. I actually like him more than before his rework.
Yeah?
It's one of the reasons I'm excited and I keep talking about him.
He's definitely demonstrating that he's worth talking about.
Yep. We actually have Corki leading over White Drake. So this is a first because, Kimura actually had a rough game earlier against Jinx.
Yes, I remember.
Against Risenbane's Jinx as well. Here comes Shorter Ace and Kassadin as well. This three-pronged Trident attack should be easily able to kill Fugues. He might be able to turn around and kill a champion though, which is the scary part.
I think he's going for the execute.
Looks like it. Might be looking to just give up the kill to the towers. But so long as Twisted can land...
there it is.
Oh, yep. So long as she can land just even a bit of damage, it gives her credit for the kill.
Yep.
And
a great ult by Infinity does there.
I really like how No Money, No Honeys decided to just let Jax go. Just say, hey, he's going to kill himself. He's not going to do anything behind 3 layers of turrets.
Yeah.
We're just going to take this mid tower. And Jax coming back up in just a couple seconds. Now, Forever Twisted does have his TP up, so he is free to do whatever he may wish to do. Dragon up in 35 seconds. It looks like he's planning to push, put a little bit of pressure on top lane, and have teleport up for the Dragon engagement.
And he does clear waves incredibly fast.
Yeah.
It looks like we have Slifen and Fugus going up there to push back on top lane.
And Twisted actually looking to back here in response to the support that the top lane has received. Now, Elise actually picking up a Locket of the Iron Solari. And normally that's an item you don't see junglers build as... sorry, you see it on a couple of junglers, like the more support-oriented junglers.
The Skarners.
Yeah, the Skarners, sometimes on the Jarvan.
Yep.
It is a viable pickup on Elise, especially if you're looking to go more towards the tank region, which it looks like Shorter Ace is.
Yeah, it looks like, and given that they don't really have any dedicated tanks on their team, it looks like it's definitely a good pickup for her.
And Elise only really needs like one M-Pen item. To be fair, like to do a capable amount of damage, you're not going to see as high returns off of raw AP as you are off of just like, maybe I'll grab an Abyssal.
There.
Yeah, I'll grab an Abyssal or something like that. That's all you really need. Infinity ulting on the entirety of the carries, but...
Forever Twisted getting Kassadin out with her ult.
Yep. Looks like Kale will fall to Fugus.
And we're having
Shorter Ace as
trades
well.
going
That's
on.
a 5-man focus. Now, No Honeys really just said, screw it, we're out, and just completely backed up from that engagement.
Yeah.
It looked like they had okay positioning towards the beginning of the fight. You know, we saw some health bars drops from both sides.
Yeah.
Wukong almost died, but once Jax got there, it was really a completely different story.
It was really hard once To Be Determined had everyone there.
Yeah, Kale had to blow her ult.
Kale used her ult to save Kassadin, who got caught out early in the Wukong ult, and then it looked to me like they decided as a team to back out, but Forever Twisted, being new to the team, thought that they might try to steal the dragon.
Forever Twisted, to be fair, did not have a whole lot under his control at that point. He had used his ult, he had used his heal. As a Kale player, you know, you don't really have any options beyond that. So.
Oh yeah.
His choice to give the free escape to Kassadin was a respectable decision.
Yeah, especially given that Kassadin is at this point worth more gold.
Yep. And, you know, Kale, as a champion by design, can say, hey,
I'll fall behind.
I'll fall behind. I will auto-attack some creeps, call it good.
I can still take your tower in 5 seconds.
Yep, doesn't matter how much gold I don't have, because I don't need it to kill your tower.
I got an Oshore's Tooth, I'm done.
Yep, that's...
What else should I build?
Maybe we'll think about Zonia's.
Looks like she is working on that Zonia's, though.
Oh, the king! Oh, the king. Where's J4? We haven't seen J4 all tournament. Missed that guy. He's so cool. He just got buffed. I thought we'd see him.
Well, we have a lot of dedicated Lee Sin players here at this tournament, especially
I thought
in
Jarvan
the
Top
higher
was supposed to be
tiers.
the hotness, though.
I don't know.
Well, because specifically, No Money No Honeys brought Jarvan Top to the last tournament and did very well with him versus all the Rise Tops we were seeing. But without the Rise Tops, I can see why they wouldn't pick him.
Well, To Be Determined comes back and wins this game. Maybe we'll see the J4 top.
Maybe we'll see the J4 top. Oh, man. Things are just looking so tied up. We've got tied towers, a very scanty 2-kill lead for To Be Determined. And
not a whole lot of gold.
Yeah.
The only gold lead really is coming off of those 2 kills and the dragon.
Yep.
Which can easily be fixed. Sitting at about 24 minutes now. I'd say this is the closest game of the day so far.
I like how Paddlecast is discussing riot balancing with my roommate, ex-roommate, ex-friend, leaving me for some woman. I thought we were bros.
Yeah, but you're a nerd.
I thought we were bros. Sorry. That pretend crying actually started turning into real crying because I missed Eric.
Oh.
Oh, I'm kidding. So, Kim Yura, currently behind. 1-3-8, is not quite have the items in play to counteract Corki, who is currently leading by not only 11 CS, but he's got his Trinity, man.
He does have his Trinity.
He
also
Trinity.
has 5 kills and 5 assists. To Graves' credit, though, he does have 8 assists.
He's the most assists on the team as the ADC.
Support Graves is OP.
Support Graves. Now, I'm sure he would rather have those be kills.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Shorter Ace was really planning to have as much gold as he has, especially considering that he probably wanted that gold to either go to, you know, Kassadin or Kale to start snowballing their advantage.
Absolutely. Kassadin, though, on that note, doing fine on the gold lead. We take a look at the gold real quick.
He's actually slightly behind Ziggs. The CS and the assists have done enough to keep Ziggs in tier. They're, you know, about middling on the CS. Yep. The only real huge difference is the top lane. We have 1100 lead for Corki, but that's counteracted by Zyra's gold that she's been getting to counteract the bot lane. So bot lane has averaged about the same gold, but Jax sitting at, you know, a 1,700 gold lead. As you know, that's a BF sword, or in this case, a Sheen or a Phage.
Absolutely, yeah.
Dragon coming up in a minute.
And a team fight coming in. Infinity with a great ult, and Shorter Ace repels out of it, which was just excellent, saving him. Grabbing a good cocoon. Meanwhile,
Shorter Ace,
just
Shorter Ace
people.
actually slipping out with just a couple health left. And, oh, everyone on To Be Determined is so
There we go, the first
low.
death of the exchange.
So low. If they had if that had gone down in any other way. If Kassadin had been there at that time instead of being forced to be where he was, that could have easily been an ace, a penta even.
Anything.
Kassadin really good at cleaning up fights.
Wound up with a 1-for-1 exchange.
However,
I would say that the Asian Honeys definitely came out on top of that one, given that they had the health to push afterwards.
Man, almost the fight of the game. It could have been a five-man. We
could have left at that point.
Yep, we could have just gone. Said, hey guys, time to get Denny's. For those of you who don't know, if you need any more reasons than we've already given you to come to the Game Breakers venue, the McDonald's that is across the street offers breakfast at midnight, which I am super excited for because usually it's super hard to get Egg McMuffins when I want to get Egg McMuffins, but they offer breakfast at midnight, which I'm always super hyped for.
Being a former McDonald's employee, I know that breakfast used to start at 4 in the morning, and being that I still frequent the McDonald's because I am a hungry person, I think it's just a company-wide thing. They do Egg McMuffins at midnight now.
They period?
Like anywhere.
What? I have to inquire because that's the hypeness. That is the hypeness. And we got a hook going out on Short Ace. So an interesting. That was a great timed flay. It beats the Q out pretty clean.
Yeah.
Who's going to secure dominance of Baron?
Coming in with an ult.
He doesn't have anybody to back him up though, so he doesn't.
But he does get out.
Yeah,
Corki with a good disengage for Infinity Death.
Now, if there had been anyone even they were so scared of engaging with Wukong. If they had the gumption to just say, all right, let's go, they might have picked up a couple kills. But as it was, Infinity was just easily turned down. Everybody just turned on him because there was no one else to target.
Infinity Death has got to be a little bit frustrated with that play there. He no longer has his ult.
This next engage is going to be pretty critical. The last 2 engages have been really close. That could have gone either way for both teams.
Yep.
It was just like a bit of hesitance from this carrier, a bit of hesitance from this mid. I would like to see more aggression. I know everyone's spooked because
everyone's playing really smart because this is win or go home.
This is win or go home, but at the same time, there's a measure of confidence that you need to have to win a game. You can't just let the opponents win the game for you by making mistakes. Sometimes you have to take these matters into your own hands and just kill them. Which is, you know, the mentality of like the Chinese meta that I've always appreciated. They're like, we're not going to wait for you guys to make like poor risk-reward situations because you're just going to die.
Yeah.
And it's a very entertaining metagame to watch. We haven't blown the circuit breakers once tonight. That is a record.
Don't jinx us. Now, both teams are near tied in gold, near tied in kills.
Tied in
they
towers.
Have the same towers, and They have the same towers.
Exactly the same towers.
It's not like one of the teams has all 3 mid towers, which would be a completely different set of pressure. All the lanes are equally pressured, and
This just really speaks to excellent rotational skills.
absolutely. Fugus and Twisted both continuously trying to split push and pushing each other out.
Fugus having a bit more luck in terms of the KDR, but Twisted has been there for a couple clutch saves with his ult.
Absolutely.
He does not, both top laners don't have their TP up, so they're going to try to stick with their teams or just flat out fight each other in lane as they are right now.
Looks like Fugus is going to try and take down this tower as much as he can.
He's just trying to get some damage on it, really. You know, Forever Twisted, it didn't really cost Forever Twisted anything to just sit there and auto-tag him, so. Oh, a hook from Defan misses, and also a Cocoon from Shorter Ace. Both teams really jockeying in the siege positioning, trying to land a CC.
And here comes Fugus coming up.
Now, in the event that, now both teams here have an excellent disengage via Thresh or Zyra.
Yes.
Thresh can easily CC, box, flay, whatever he needs to do to get the engager out of there, and Zyra's ult is Zyra's ult.
Absolutely.
So, oh, we get the hook on Elise.
And Shorter Ace, it looks like, is going to go in. And Infinity comes in
He
on
repels
Elise,
out, but
repels
Wukong
out.
quickly falls. That was an excellent repel there, keeping himself alive. Elise, probably not the target they wanted to catch. Her being the dedicated tank. This is pretty much definitively the dedicated tank from here on out.
Absolutely. Looks like she's also going to finish her
Randuin,
Randuin soon.
yeah, pretty quickly. It's so much armor. And if we look at it, now this is an important fact that I forgot to bring up before. This is an extremely AD heavy team.
It is.
Or to be determined.
And on the other side, we have an AP heavy team.
Right. I mean, through Zyra, Kayle, and Cass, and Elise.
Yep.
That's just, they're going to have to itemize straight for MR.
Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Ziggs being the only AP.
Right. They're going to be able to, now see, the thing is, Jax has a tough time against, comparatively tough time against MR as compared to ADs, where he has, you know, I can just turn on my parry thing and la 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 la, Caitlyn, you're
Absolutely.
dead. Whereas somebody like Cass is just going to shred him. Kayle is just going to obliterate him.
Yeah, I think that Kayle was a really good pick against Jax in Champion Select, and it showed that she won the lane getting the tower first.
Yep. You know, Fugus is up on kills, but Kayle's functionality late in the game is going to be similar to Jax's. She's going to provide the clutch ult. She's not going to be as tanky herself, but she's going to be able to vaporize targets just as well.
She's going to be able to last through not having the tanking.
Yeah, the sustained is comparable. Sorry, the sustained is in her favor, and she's going to be able to push towers really fast.
They also both have equal good attack speed.
And temp name.
Temp name and Shorter Ace jumping on Corki right there. And now it looks like they're going to push down mid or go to Baron. Asian Honeys is pinging Baron. Or, sorry, no monies, no honeys.
No
Asian
monies, no
here
honeys.
today.
Asian Honeys is not here today. Neither is Super Hot Crew. There's a different beast in the jungle. Oh, man. See,
There's
late
a
game.
different set of honeys.
Different set of honeys. Late game, Kassadin becomes so scary for the roam.
Yeah.
The skirmish, like the ability to just find somebody in the jungle and completely destroy them.
And then leave.
And then be completely safe.
Wukong coming in to try and sneak the steal on Baron, but they see it coming a mile away and take care of him easily.
With this 3-man, with only 3 people up, to be determined is going to have a really hard time contesting this Baron. But
well, it looks like they're just trying to harass them, keep them at Baron, make them think they're contesting it, because Fugus is split pushing bot, forcing them all to go back.
And they're going to push all the way up to that tower. And it looks like they're going to actually trade this back and turn it into a dragon. Dragon did just respawn. So
they are tied on gold now, getting a tower, and if they get this dragon, they'll start to take a gold lead.
Yep.
They also have turned around and gotten the... Yeah.
At this point, finishing those last items could be pretty critical, because the difference between having Guardian Angel and not having Guardian Angel when everybody's outputting this much damage can make a huge difference, especially when it's on somebody like, you know, like Graves.
Absolutely.
SG providing us with
We have
stream
Casson waiting in the bush and
stream
just
chat
stunning him.
analysis.
Oh, crash.
SG is smart. I'll say that. Everybody should listen to him. Oh man, so much damage being output onto Thresh there. And temp name slipping out with the skin of his teeth, and Kimura actually picking up the first couple kills of the game. You know, he's been behind so many assists.
Well, he's had great positioning. He's keeping up in gold with the, you know, the CS and the assists. He's been there for his team, and he's still outputting a lot of damage.
I think more important than anything is that he had a couple unfortunate deaths early on in the game, but since then he hasn't really died.
Yeah.
His positioning has been very good, as you said, throughout the course of this mid to late game, and it's starting to pay off. I mean, No Money, No Honeys is just, they've turned it completely around from that early mid-game disadvantage that they had. And, you know, they were down a couple kills, they're down a bit of gold, but now they're up a tower, they're up 5 kills and 2,000 gold.
Well, the kills are also starting to spread around. Before, a shorter ace had all of the kills.
Right.
She was sitting 5-0, and they're starting to share that gold a little bit.
I like how Shorter Ace went straight for a tank build. He realized how effective just having...
My gosh.
Oh, Fugus.
Fugus is the hugest.
He catches Kimura exposed.
Twisted coming in, saving Graves, and a 5-man focus
That
on
is
Jax.
why we draft Kale. Yep, that is why we draft Kale. She's, I mean...
And Graves with enough lifesteal to take the white and just get back with the team.
Yep.
But takes a B anyways.
And a quick lantern out. Infinity, flashes out of the cocoon. They weren't really in a position to I guess Kale could have slowed him if he had gotten stunned. So, coming in here, To Be Determined is definitely on their toes. Any opportunity that they give No Money, No Honeys is going to be just, it will be the game.
Yeah.
Their push ability is really strong, be it via plants, be it via Kale or Spiderlings. They have the ability to output tons of damage to buildings. Uh-oh, this could be exactly what they were looking for as Cassidy gets caught out.
And Infinity keeps everyone back with his ult.
And
Kale's
the ult on
is
Kale, and this is going to be
nice
into the
box, keeping
Wukong
everyone close.
ult. They pick up the kill on Shorter Ace. Oh no, sorry, Shorter Ace actually still lives via the repel. But with Cassidy and Kale dead, and Slifen and Infinity staying alive, Fugus is going to really just come in here and clean up this match.
On Kimura. Elise repels out of Corki and behind.
And
is it enough?
And Corki does pick up the last kill. I, for a second, thought she was going to queue over the wall onto the white, but I didn't think she had vision. But the white might have just last hit her. It's like, hey, quit that.
Most likely. Zyra taking the back.
And
Graves
interestingly
trying
enough,
to escape from
Forever
Jax.
Twisted actually died there without using his Zonias.
Yeah.
He ulted himself, but he never actually used the Zonias. Maybe he could have used the Zonias to block Thresh Hook and ulted somebody else.
Zonias has such a low cooldown too that I'm surprised he didn't use it.
To be honest, it's unless you're really used to playing mids, you're not really used to. Because I can understand how as a top player it's not the first thing in your mind. You're looking for your Tiamat, you're looking for your blade. Zonias isn't an item unless you're really used to playing
like
Kale
you,
top.
I am very used to playing the support and mid roles.
Right.
Morgana being my main.
You're ready on your Zonias, you're ready on your Frost Dagger, you're ready on your Sightstone. You're not ready on when I go around and I play Zed. I'm not ready to blade people. I'm like, what is this? What is this skill? What is this move?
That's me with Pantheon. Not ready to.
Not ready to do
not
any
ready
Pantheon
to cast
things.
while I'm coming in.
Yeah. So either way, No Money, No Honeys has established a. I can't say it's a lead because realistically they are not.
Tied.
Yeah, it's tied. It's pretty much completely tied.
It's honestly kind of still tied in towers.
There is a advantage.
Yeah.
For No Money, No Honeys, the fact that they have an inhibitor.
Yes, that is big.
The only thing is that their advantage is only in the mid lane. Any other lane that they tackle, they're going to have to go through at least 2 towers before an inhibitor, where any fight that To Be Determined wins is going to result in an inhibitor because they're just... everything's so pushed up.
Especially if they can win something mid and split mid and bot lane.
So Jay, Zig's going up for some defense. I really like how No Money No Honeys is pushing their lanes constantly. A lot of times people get absorbed in looking for picks. They get absorbed in trying to establish jungle wards, site dominance, and they forget the most basic concept of getting the creeps to the buildings.
Yep.
You know, that's a concept that's you see a bit more in other games where creeps are a bit stronger later in the game. But you know, they're keeping to those fundamentals of getting the minions up to the bases.
Well, it's all about getting the Nexus. I mean, that is the goal of the game. It's not Dominion. It's not ARAM where you can kind of just kill everyone and the creeps will do all the work.
Infinity actually is forced to whiff the vast majority of his ult as he is Cocoon and Chain CC there against the wall. And Shorter 8's looking to fall here. Not really a whole lot of damage
Picking
being
up
suffered from
Shorter
To Be
8's,
Determined.
yeah. We are at minute death timers now.
Overall, that was a decent fight for To Be Determined. The fact that when I saw Wukong's ult just completely whiffing, I was like, they are so dead. But the fact of the matter is that everyone was so in a retreat mindset that they couldn't really capitalize on, you know, that situation.
Temp Name waiting to take the Baron. Fresh with the hook. They know they're there. We've got the plants. And Ziggs is
And Cass comes in to try and steal the Baron and is forced. Oh my gosh. They're forced to blow the kill out to safely let Temp get out of that engage. Surprisingly,
Temp
they don't.
Name successfully steals Baron, though. Oh, no.
No, they didn't.
I saw the pixels.
Oh, yeah. I saw the blue portrait when Baron died, so I was like, all right, there we go.
I thought I'd seen him around Graves. I was confused. At least Temp Name got out, though.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, Kale's ult doesn't have that much of a cooldown, especially when you consider that the champion herself really favors building CDR.
Yes.
So, there is that.
Now, To Be Determined is taking the gold lead advantage here. They're down in kills, they're down in towers, but they're getting objectives. They've gotten 2 dragons, 2 of the last 3 dragons, and they've picked up Baron.
And now, you know, coming in here, they are at a 4K gold deficit, and it kind of speaks, we're seeing a few more items. Oh my gosh, just look at that, those CS numbers for Ziggs, Corki, and Jax through the roof.
Kale as well, doing very well, despite not having a whole lot of kill impact with 3 kills, 3 assists. However, Twisted has picked up the death cap and the Zhonya's.
This could easily go to another 50-minute game.
Oh, I'm thinking more.
Are you thinking more? Think we're going to see the 60? The 1 hour? We're going to break the record?
We're going to break the record.
I don't think
here.
we've had a 1 hour game at a Game Breaker tournament yet. So the fact that it's in Grand Finals and it's such a high-level Grand Finals, it's such a close game is really a great thing.
The Baron buff looks really neat on Ziggs.
Oh, yeah?
Like
I guess when he's mad scientist and he's like, look at my ion stones. So with so many Banshees going out, we're actually not seeing any Guardians, interestingly enough, in favor of the Banshees. Well,
especially on the side of To Be
team,
Determined, because there's so much AP on the other side.
They want to block Cass, they want to block Cocoons, or collateral damage even.
I thought that Temp Name was almost caught out, but I forgot that he's Kassadin and he can go over walls.
Yes, he can do it. He can do
whatever
what he wants. Oh, Forever Twisted in a rough spot.
Remembers the Zhonya's this time.
Yep, he did it.
And the ult.
Oh, that ult didn't really get him a whole lot of ground. He was probably just really afraid of Fugus coming in and just flat out beating him up.
And it looks like Fugus might take a tower on bot lane.
Now, at this point of the game, at 3rd rank, the cooldown is under 45 seconds. So it's not a huge thing to see it with unless it's like in a team fight already. Because it will be up by the next time they engage.
To Be Determined.
And we are taking down the top tower. They are at full health, and they have... Actually, wait, do both teams have Baron buff?
Both teams have Baron buff.
It was my client just glitching? What's going on?
No, what? I was confused for a reason.
Zyra does not have Baron. Yes, my client is glitching. I'm sorry, guys. And Risen Bane has taken the tower and some kills. This is their first inhibitor, and Jax is actually pushing
Probably
the bottom
a second inhibitor.
This could
We're
be...
looking at a second game.
Yeah, we're looking at a bracket reset. Hugus.
Is the hugest.
Hugus the Hugus. Just completely trained down, trusting their slight gold advantage to push them over the edge. Kassadin doesn't really have the damage that they were looking for to really clean up a couple of those fights.
No.
Well played.
Very well
To
played.
be determined
To be
resets the bracket.
Continues to knock No Monies, No Honeys into the
Losers
losers.
bracket in 100% of their tournaments. The match stat stays true.
However, let's see if it stays true that they
In the
continue
other
to
side,
go back and forth.
Yes, and every time, in every tournament, No Money, No Honeys has played, they've been locked into losers.
Oh.
So they've never had a perfect tourney. Welcome everyone to the final Grand Finals match of the May 10th Game Breakers League of Legends 5-on-5. To be determined has reset the bracket, making it even. Now both teams are 2-2 in tournament.
Historically, a all-the-time thing to do.
Yep. They have continued their legacy of always knocking these guys into losers, and now it's up to No Money, No Honeys to say, this is what we came here to do. We came here to start from the bottom.
Yep. Pretty standard items coming out. The most interesting one, in my opinion, being Soraka picking up no AP items to come out with, but instead just lots of sustain.
Dagger, especially since the changes to Ice Fang did change and allows you to stack up multiple ones at once, it actually is pretty... One of the reasons Zyra and Morgana have risen to popularity, they have the ability to burn lots of stacks really fast. And Soraka with Starfall also has that capability, so I was kind of expecting to see the dagger on her. But
The dagger does not work if you kill minions.
right, correct.
So being the mid laner and farming, she can't have it.
Oh, sorry. It's my bad, guys.
Looking at Nami?
I was looking... Oh, let me switch the teams real quick. Before
Get things organized.
Yeah, before somebody reminds me. Nami. I keep thinking that Soraka is support.
Yeah, we have a Soraka mid this game.
Yeah, I was like looking at buys and I was
we'll be
like...
looking for Slifen to try and carry. Now, this is 3 games that I have been watching with you play while Sifen's playing, and in all 3 games he's played a different champion. Anivia, which did not go well. He had a bad matchup.
Yep. Ziggs went decently.
Struggled in the beginning and came out on top against Kassadin.
Kassadin, of course, is going to give any AP mid trouble.
Yep. And now we're going to see how Soraka matches up against Yasuo, 2 completely opposite champions.
Now, there really isn't much holding Yasuo back. He's got... Ooh. The only thing that's really going to come down to is how much shred Sifen's going to be able to stack up.
Yes.
Because incidental damage here and there is going to be blocked by his passive, so...
And that shield is going to keep coming up.
Yep, it's just going to keep coming up.
All he has to do is walk around.
So, what do you think are executional differences that No Money, No Honeys might want to take into consideration? I mean, don't get me wrong. They could easily play the same game plan and just trust their skill.
Yeah.
That's very much a possibility. Do you think they might want to shake things up a bit, maybe specifically target a lane with a jungler, or...
I think if they're going to specifically target anyone, it might be Fusion up top, just because he is the one that they're targeting with their bans anyways, and they forced him to play a champion that probably wasn't his first pick to play, so why not shut him down early? Now,
I do want to bring up a brief recap of what happened in the last... Not grand final. Sorry, it was grand finals. It wasn't against
the
UB
grand
tournament.
semi-grand.
Well, specifically, No Money, No Honeys fought Rise top in the grand finals of our last Game Breakers event in March.
Okay.
And that Rise was actually Kevin Lee, who is now currently their top. So Kevin Lee knows the top meta. He's knowledgeable of the champion, having played him himself. The only thing is that now he's fighting the Rise.
Yes.
And in that game, he was up against Jarvan top, and it was rough because he got dunked early, and he got dunked really hard. Like we're talking like 14-1 Jarvan hard.
Yeah.
And Jarvan went out to carry the entire game, soloing inhibitors. And Shyvana is a champion that can skill really quickly off some gold.
Yes. I think we're going to see a farm lane on top.
Yep, there isn't really much Rise can do to contest her, especially being a resourceless champion.
Both of them have a lot of sustain, and both of them are going to be poking each other as much as they can. But I think it'll just come down to whoever decides to leave lane first.
I'm pretty interested to see what Short Race does pre-6. You know, Rise is playing it so safe. He doesn't really have... He really has to trust Forever Twist to just secure his lane on his own, because Rise isn't going to extend himself for ganking position.
Absolutely, and they are playing very smart. On the other hand, Yasuo all over Soraka on the mid
He's doing
lane.
a good job. The incidental tower shot actually evened up the health bars quite a bit, but he's doing a great job of pressuring her down. And with the Dorn's Blade...
And we see both junglers converging mid now.
He's... Oh, this is going to be a 2v2. And Shorter Ace just doing an
Shorter
awesome job blowing up
Soraka
Infinity
with
Death.
the heal, but I don't think it's enough.
And there's
Nope.
the Incinerator.
There's the first blood.
Whoa. Now,
with the Ignite.
the Vi player, Infinity, was queued into the wall and did not cross over it, did not have enough charge time, which is extremely unfortunate. That was really what secured his death. The Ignite also smartly preventing a lot of Soraka's healing power. Whew. Good job. Good job, Shorter Ace. Show us how Wukong is played. Oh, a great hook on Nami into the bomb there. However, Risen
But
Bane...
another good bubble then.
Yeah, he takes more damage, I think, than he was hoping to get. And
He took more than he gave, for sure. But
the
yeah, Shorter Ace definitely saying, hey, you played Wukong last game, but this is how it's done.
this is how it's done. Like I mentioned earlier, I really like the Nami pick. I think it complements Lucian really well, especially with Tidecaller's Blessing activating off of both of his
I
passive
agree,
procs.
yes. It goes back to the old way of Nami Vane.
Yes, definitely hearken call to the past. Now Vi is a little bit behind, doesn't have the opportunity to pick up boots with this buy.
That death definitely set her back. Any early death for a jungler will do that.
Especially Vi, because she's really one of those... She has the ability to gank pre-6, don't get me wrong. Vault Breaker is awesome, but it's not Assault and Battery. She needs that 6. Now Wukong can function, you know, okay without his ult.
Yeah. He can sneak in there with his clone.
Yep. Now, Aurelius doing a good job overall, keeping his lane safe. We don't see, now that all of the regeneration items are consumed on his opposing side. Going back to buy. Pretty safe bot lane overall.
Very
Not
safe
really.
bot lane. Both of them giving even exchanges. We've got a very close CS. And Lucian picks up the BF sword and some pots for the sustain.
I'm guessing that this is my hypotheses, but they wanted to pick champions that could effectively defend against junglers. You know, with so much disengage coming from Valkyrie and Thresh, on top of Nami bubble, speed buffs, healing, they never wanted to be vulnerable to either Wukong or Vi.
Yeah.
And their objective was to say, hey guys, let bot be bot. We're going to do our ADC support thing. You guys play the rest of the game on the other half of the map
There's
for
already 2 of us here.
Yep.
Go help them. I agree. I think that, like you said, Fuge is definitely demanding respect with the bans towards him. On the other side, we've got the bans that were generally aimed at the support role and the jungle role.
Now,
Shorter Ace and Aurelius demanding respect.
Now this could be really bad. Fugus has already got a 9 CS lead on Forever Twisted, along with a fair amount of health from Harass.
Yep.
Now, if this is an indicator of if they don't stop Rise soon, it's going to be too late.
He can snowball very well.
Now, to be fair, they do have a fair amount of CC.
Yes.
And, you know, Rise, he outputs a ton of damage, and he gets pretty tanky, but if he's CC'd, it kind of becomes a null factor.
Yeah.
And with Wukong and Nami and Yasuo, you know, they have... Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about Yasuo ult synergy.
Yes.
Let's talk about Wukong and Nami.
Wukong knocking everyone up. Nami's tied away. Yasuo only has to be nearby and press R, and he locks everyone into the air.
I totally didn't think about that. That's a really good mid pick. Yeah. All right. Now I remember the famous Yasuo Wukong mid jungle combo. Actually,
Yeah.
I remember now. I just can't believe I forgot about that. That was so good. Back when Wukong was really a lot more popular.
I was, until you mentioned Wukong, I was forgetting that
Oh,
Wukong,
and there it is. All right. Don't really need to explain it because now that everybody's seen it, burns the Ignite, but they do pick up the kill in lane. And the first 2 kills are both on Shorter Ace.
Both, yeah.
And unlike Elise, who does all right with a fair amount of gold, Wukong can really just take any amount of gold and just do so well with it. He can grab his T-Mat, he can grab his Brutalizer, or Last Whisper, whatever he wants to get.
Absolutely.
Really.
Now, on the No Monies, No Honeys team, we've got Shyvana being the dedicated tank. And with Ryze top, she's been forced to pick up some MR first instead of health or any kind of armor. And we'll see how that factors in for now. If Vi can get in there and get a gank, that MR is going to do nothing.
Forever Twisted has had a rough couple of games in comparison to his teammates. It's really shown having to play with a completely new team how rough he can be on a player. But to be fair, he's held his own. He absolutely has. Regardless of anything that KB say, he is competing with the best at this tournament.
Absolutely.
And to be fair, his team has always done incredibly well. You know, they've consistently placed in top 3, consistently getting second. They're definitely tournament competitors at these events, so I expected nothing less from him.
Right. And he is, at least he is top lane. And
right.
If there's any lane you're going to come into as a new player, top lane has got to be the one. If you're going to be a new support, then you don't have that chemistry with your partner.
Now, unfortunately, he is fighting against the scariest player on To Be Determined.
Yes.
Hugis is, you know...
he's the hugest.
He's the hugest. So, it may just be a will of the fates. maybe Kevin
And he is
Lee.
playing against his champion that he knows very well and used to play.
And for those of you who are wondering who Temp name is, oh man, I totally forget his original name, but my bad. I'll look it up someday. But Temp serves for now. Temp name serves as a temporary name. A hook actually secures Wukong's Shadow.
Yep.
But with that was actually a pretty respectable, uncontested dragon. For
Yeah.
No Money, No Honeys.
There was no one around really to do anything. We've got Hugis up top pushing hard and playing safe and pushing hard at the right times. And we've got some really good lane control by Slifen and by Hugis that Lucian and Nami were able to go in there and just take it.
Slifen has done what he could, but unfortunately he's currently sitting at a 39 CS deficit in favor of Yasuo. Now he does have a few items, but with a static shift, Yasuo's farm is going to start to skyrocket, and he's going to start taking that gold to other lanes.
Yes.
And as big as Ryze can get, Yasuo is just as scary.
I would even say that Yasuo might be a little bit bigger.
Well, Ryze is strong now, but I'm talking about like pure late game output. Ryze is pretty uncontestable.
Yes.
But Yasuo is...
And there we have another Wukong Yasuo combo.
Yep, they're definitely taking advantage of that character synergy, and now that kill actually goes to Yasuo. He's also got both the assists, so the gold is in the right place. You want it on the Samurai.
And you definitely want it on Temp name.
Yeah, on Temp name. If I was going to give gold to any player in this tournament, I'd want it on this guy. He's definitely performed very consistently well in every single one of his games. I've never seen him really go to a disadvantage.
Yeah, and that's not to put down any of the other members on the team.
No, Slifen,
all of them are absolutely dominating.
If it was anybody else, Slifen would have killed him.
Oh,
I'll just put it that way. His mid game is extremely strong. It's definitely on par with other top tier mid laners I've seen in these tournaments, like Feeder Mid from Lovely Princesses, or is Shuttering out the mid laner? The other mid laner from Shandor's Minions is also very good. But Temp name, put in work. And this game, see, this is more of a classic NA meta style game. Very, very safe.
Yes.
We're not
very
seeing...
safe.
We're not
very
seeing,
jungle dependent.
We're not seeing risky engages. We're not engaging unless it's a 2v1. We're maybe trading, but never really going for an all-in situation. And that's resulting in the favor of the mid lane.
Yes.
Yasuo Wukong has proven to be a stronger combo than Soraka Vi. Oh, with Vi coming up top, we're actually looking at a 2v2 here.
We have.
And here comes the
Wukong
Vault
and
Breaker
Yasuo.
into the ult.
There it is.
And the
getting
Wukong
dunked.
counter engage.
Oh my gosh.
Forever Twisted does fall, but it does. Oh, sorry. Forever Twisted picks up the kill.
Shorter Ace picks up another kill. And meanwhile, mid Yasuo took down Soraka as well.
This is a dominating start. Maybe this is the loser bracket power-up that we were talking about earlier. They have to stay true to the stats.
You had to get your green mushroom.
Yep.
1 up.
1 up. No, it was no.
Great
Sorry.
hook by Thresh and a counter ult by Nami, but is it enough?
Oh, and Nami's gonna. Oh, there's the flash, but it wasn't
The pot
quite
saves her.
enough. Nami's heal and bonus move speed results in her actually getting out just fine. The question is she going to be able to save Lucian? She's kind of jockeying around looking for a bubble.
There's the
And,
bubble.
oh, actually
And
going
the
for
kill.
the teleport here.
An exchange kill. Rise coming in with Home Guard locking down.
Easily picks up the kill on Nami in that 2-for-1. But forcing the Rise to blow teleport was, pretty telling.
That was pretty tough. Also, they lost top tower and mid tower.
Yep.
The gold lead really speaks for itself.
That did put them on the map in terms of kills, but they still have yet to seize any structures, and being forced to blow Rise teleport just to stay even in like a 2v2 situation for bot lane is gonna be tough. So, looking at the gold here real quick, let's see who's got what. Top actually in favor of Shyvana. Even though she has less total CS,
She has the towers.
she has the towers, right? And the dragon.
Yep.
And I believe the dragon is actually what's going to push the vast majority of these lanes into their advantages. Ooh, shorter ace.
Another
Blocking-
Wukong
Yep.
Yasuo wombo
Blocking off
combo.
the escape route of Infinity. Now, Infinity's had a really rough game. I haven't really seen him play very effectively. Currently sitting at 0-4-0. He just hasn't really had the opportunity to get any great ults out.
My thoughts on this right now are that No Monies, No Honeys really took the time to think about who they were picking and how their champions will work together. Whereas on the other side, we have To Be Determined thinking, who can I play against this person rather than who can I play with this person.
I think that's a really, really well thought of comment, especially when you think of things like how does like their top synergize with their mid, or how does their jungler synergize with their top?
Exactly.
Just things like that. Like with a high CC oriented jungler like Vi, you want either like train down tops like Olaf or Shiv or Jack, somebody who can just get up there and all they need is for somebody to stay still for 5 seconds so they can kill them. And Rise isn't that. He's a bursty caster.
Yeah.
You also want like those more assassin-oriented mids, like Zed or LeBlanc, Kassadin.
LeBlanc was banned.
LeBlanc was banned, but Kassadin was open. Zed was open.
Zed was very open.
And so they're not going to be able to really bring out the shiny star that Vi can bring because they're not taking advantage of her whole strength.
We don't have a whole lot of synergy. We just have a lot of counter picking.
Right.
And I feel like synergy beats counter picking.
Well, to be fair, they did really well in lane. Rise, just pretty much dominated Forever Twist in lane. Is when we start seeing the junglers appear.
Shorter Ace is present. He has 4-0-2.
Definitely the most dominant player in the game at the moment. And he's, oh man, so much damage with just Lizard. Lizard is so good.
It's a constant red buff.
So good. I mean, it's good enough that you can get it as a not jungler, and that's that explains itself.
Oh yeah.
And there's the ult.
A Nami ult coming in
to follow
there
up. This is going to be an easy double kill.
Perhaps a triple as Fugus is getting a little too cocky and close.
He's decently tanky. He's got his rod. I don't think they're going to try to get on him, especially with so much being blown already. And here comes Defon for reinforcement. Now, oh man, chain CC, chain AoE CC. Now, normally you talk about like dream engages where you're like, oh, well, this champ can follow up with their ult and this champ can follow up with their ult. Yeah, but that doesn't happen because you're never in positioning for things like that.
Right.
But in the event that these are ults that work well by themselves, and they just happen to work even better together.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a total freebie.
And that's what we're seeing with the Wukong, Yasuo, and Nami together.
Right. Nami makes an excellent disengage. Normally it's played as a disengage or a counter engage. It's, hey, get off, or hey, we're going to disrupt your engage and then refocus on you guys.
Or even for a chase with all the speed boost.
And the fact that she synergizes with Lucian in lane and Yasuo in mid, I think the banning...
And
Wukong. You're right. And I think the banning and the drafting was in favor of no money, no honeys this time around.
I absolutely agree.
The last game proved to be in favor of to be determined, and it really just came down to the excellent drafting. Fugus is actually having a tough time pushing down the top towers. And Infinite caught out once again in the jungle. This is just a really hard game for him. With 6 deaths, he actually has half the deaths on his team. Sorry, more than half the deaths on his team. It's definitely...
It's got to be morally defeating at this point.
For sure.
It's one of those... This is one of those times where, for Infinity, his teammates need to step up, show him that he doesn't have to be trying to carry, and that he can just play a little bit safe, and that it could be okay.
And with Vi, you need a sufficient amount of tankiness. You need some health for your passive to work really effectively.
Which makes it interesting that she would choose to go with the Lizard item instead of getting the Golem.
Well, Lizard is a fair pick on her. You need some damage, be that from Last Whisper, or you usually want at least 1 damage item on her.
It does look like she'll be starting up her Randuin's or perhaps Frozen Heart.
Normally you want to build her kind of similar to Shyvana in that you grab like your blade and then you go straight tank from there.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're going full tank Vi, which is still pretty good. Sorry, I would say it's... Oh, here comes... For the first time we get a good Vi ult.
A good ult.
But,
Wukong is right there to show them how to play Wukong.
This counter engage is definitely going to be...
A good ult by Soraka keeps the team alive.
They just don't have enough damage.
And the TP from Ryze locks down Wukong for his first death of the game.
Now, Fugus coming in was really all they needed to prevent the damage. They had plenty of CC, plenty of sustain.
Like Corki's going to dive on Nami. Nami counter ults, and the tower helps Lucian kill him.
But like we were saying earlier, Soraka just doesn't really bring any damage to the table.
No.
Unless
she also doesn't bring a whole lot of team synergy to the table. You really have to depend on the other 4 people on your team to do all of the work, and you just kind of help them keep going.
Now it does have, she does have access to the silence, which is really important for a battlecaster ADC like Lucian, who's gonna want to be spamming abilities over and over and over and over. And Temp Name gonna pick up a quick kill here on Infinity for his 7th death of the game, and this is looking just so hard for to be determined. No money, no honeys, deciding that it was time to stop playing the game and start winning the game.
No money, no honeys, deciding that it is late and that they have been here too long.
They want to go to Denny's.
Not going to have another game over 40 minutes, says White Drake.
White Drake. Pale Drake? Pale Drake? Oh man, this is... The starter from the bottom joke is just, it's going too far in my head, especially considering they can only win if it's coming out of the loser's bracket.
No monies, no honeys. White Drake getting the Baron.
Oh, man. So, either way, Kimura is actually having a better game. His best game that I've seen today. Normally, he's actually sitting at pretty tied kills, death, and actually ends up getting more assists than anything else. But
used the culling ult to melt down the Baron.
Yeah. Oh, Fugus might. No. See, Infinity just doesn't really have the tankiness yet to survive against. If she's forced into a 2v1 situation, they can say, hey.
It's caught in Yasuo's ult, but luckily Thresh is there for the Lantern.
Lantern's there for the disengage. And just a 5-man push right down mid with Forever Twisted actually going for a split push. A very respectable decision. They have so much pressure on it. Oh, but Fugus is smartly going to cover both top laners, very aware of their role.
Absolutely. Both Fugus and Twisted have been split pushing all day in every game that we've seen.
And actually in the previous match, we saw Fugus and and was always answering the Kale split push at
Yeah.
all times. They're always in the same lane.
Yes.
Regardless of what stage of the game, what it is. If they were split pushing, they were split pushing the same lane.
No Monies, No Honeys looking to extend their gold lead even more.
Oh, just temp name is so far ahead with 4 kills. And going back, you know, picking up the Negatron cloak. It looks like he's about to probably just buy an early Hex Drinker. Either he's going for
The Hex Drinker, he would need the
other thing.
the other one.
Yeah, the other thing. He's that's for Guardian Angel.
Yeah,
That's for Guardian Angel.
definitely. Quick look at the gold.
Doubling the gold of his opposing mid. Jungler up by 3K. I mean, you know what? We can just turn this off and look at that number up there.
Just across the board.
Yeah, the 13K gold lead is going to be pretty evenly
No
dished
Monies,
out.
No Honeys, with 2 players on their team with no deaths, multiple kills and multiple assists.
And To Be Determined only has 1 tower to their name. Definitely looking to be a bleak game for To Be Determined, but you know, late game Rise is a possibility. Oh, oh, oh.
They have more like 4 turrets.
No, like they have 1 tower. They've
Oh.
claimed 1 tower.
Oh, oh.
Sorry.
Not even.
Either way.
Happening on the
Huh?
oh, it's on mid.
Yep, it's in mid.
Mid tower.
And we have an interesting hook landed on temp name, but it doesn't lead to much.
No. Lucian clearing bot
Kimura,
way too easily.
yeah, easily looking
Going to take that tower. And Yasuo rotating down bot too. Meanwhile, Twisted and Fugus continue to just trade blows and keep each other.
Now, the
exactly where they
CS
are.
lead that Rise had early in the game was pretty much negated by the kills that Forever Twisted was able to pick up.
Yes.
And with the Spirit Visage, with the Blade of the Ruin King, I don't think Shyvana is going to have too much trouble facing Rise in a 1v1 situation.
Absolutely. Landing a hook on Lucian. But it's no blitzcrank grab. They'd have to go over there, and there's too much damage on the other side of that wall.
And that wall's a little bit thick to flay somebody over. And here comes Vi. Whiffs the wall breaker. Not really looking to engage quite yet. Who's going to get it? Now, don't be mistaken. To Be Determined has counter-engage capabilities. It's just simply that you can't really stop Wukong from doing his thing, and that's why he's so strong.
Exactly.
Just so much jockeying going on right under the base wall.
Both
Lots and lots of words going down.
all 10 of these players have so much depth at all of their positions that really the bans didn't even matter. When you see that Lee Sin got banned, they banned Jax, they banned a lot of the supports and jungles and tops, and Shorter Ace picks up Wukong and has no problem. Meanwhile, Fugus picks up Rise and again has no problem.
Oh, and there's the Nami ult.
Yasuo coming in there, Wukong as well.
We see the Yasuo ult easily following up the Wukong ult. This is going to be a very clean engagement in favor of No Money, No Honeys.
Kimura had a great culling on the side as well.
Now, Rise does come in to pick up Yasuo, and Shorter Ace is too low to continuing engage, so Rise should actually be able to defend that inhibitor quite well.
2-for-1 exchange.
He does have to rotate bot to stop Kimura, but this should also be a pretty easy kill. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Late game Rise. Late game Rise.
Here it comes.
Now, he has finished his Seraph's Embrace, so he's fully stacked on both Rod and Archangels. Really, the only thing he's looking to finish here is his Frozen Heart, and beyond that, it's just whatever he wants to do, he's Rise.
Probably a death cap.
Probably death cap. Now, if we look at the ADCs, both have stayed very, very competent in terms of CS in favor of kills. They've played it safe. They've played it safe positioning-wise. They're saying, hey, our job is to carry. We're not going to die.
Porky and Lucian both have almost identical builds. They have almost identical CC, almost identical numbers across the board. The changing factor, if the two of them were to face off, is Lucian's Last Whisper from all of the dragons that they have.
Yep, and the towers.
Yep.
Can always have to give credit to Tower Gold. And I need to fix those player names so they don't cover up the Baron respawn timer. I did not notice that when I was making them. My bad.
I'll add it to the list.
Yep. Thank you.
Minute 10 on Baron.
And we see Forever Twisted just belligerently pushing his top lane, as he did with Kale in the previous game, 2 games ago. I mean, that kind of constant pressure is really what you want from a top laner. You want them to be saying, hey, give me this third of the map. For the cost of a single champion, give me this third of the map. In a way, it's like the biggest impact a champion could have.
Absolutely.
Is just saying, we're taking 1/5 of our team and controlling 1/3 of the map.
It allows the other 4 players on the team to take mid, to take bottom inhibitor, to take Baron, Dragon again and again. 7 towers so far. Meanwhile, Twisted says, this is my lane, and I'm going to prove it.
Yep. He's definitely done very well in keeping himself on par with Rise. And here's another Ami ult. Unfortunately, they actually They do a really good job of avoiding, and an excellent hook from Defan lands on Lucian. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to lead to a kill.
He's coming in with his ult.
No Money, No Honey's going very deep, chasing all the way past the Nexus, and Fugus actually picks up the kill on Temp Name.
Kimura takes the inhibitor.
Shorter Ace falling really low. Lucian also dying. They've actually lost 3 champions.
Kimura down.
Orly's also going to fall to late game Rise.
Porky picks up the kill. Meanwhile, Forever Twisted
takes
the tower.
They do get, they got a couple things out of that engage. So they got the top tower. They got the the bot inhibitor, and I believe the bot tower.
Yes.
If it wasn't already gone. No, sorry, bot and tower fell earlier.
They bought the inhibitor. They got 1 kill, and they got another tower. However, they did it at the cost of 4 champions.
See, the thing is they set up, this Baron attempt is going to be really risky because everyone is so low. On top of that, Forever Twisted is still up. He can still bother them quite a bit. Now with Rise here, contesting it's going to be tough because AoE is so good, especially, they might finish it before they get there. The real question is, is Twisted going to contest it or not? Doesn't look like he chooses to.
The question now is, can they get out?
Now that Baron's going to help them a lot, mainly because they're removing it from the other team. Because a Baron in the situation that they're in would prove pretty fatal if it was on the side of the sieging team.
Yes.
Both now, the gold disparity is just speaking volumes. We've got the just so much. We've got so much.
We're starting to see that the gold is going to stop mattering. No Money, No Honeys is beginning to get up to full build, and they will start to plateau.
Well, you know, there's still a couple items left that are pretty important. The late game Angels, the late game Banshee Veils. You know, even just on the side of Nami, just flat out being able to just buy way more wards.
Looks like Nami is working on a Frozen Heart.
Or Randuin, actually.
Randuin.
For, I guess she wants to dominate the speed game. Nobody's playing additional D when you've got Randuins on you.
Yeah.
And
looks like Thresh is also trying to dominate the speed game.
he's got the Shirelles. Sorry, Talisman of Ascension. Sorry. My bad, Callan.
It's the new Shirelles.
Hey, man, you know how much work they put into renaming that item? they literally spent more work renaming that item than they did balancing the item because they renamed it like 5 or 6 times. So, a desperate defense for to be determined. They do have the Baron buff, and Fugus is very capable of turning this around.
Absolutely. However, No Monies, No Honeys has no need to engage until Baron is gone.
That's correct. The thing is the longer this game goes, like you said, the gold stops mattering. They have such a huge gold advantage right now. If they don't push it, it's going to not be worth as much. I mean, and what was the point of getting a gold advantage if you're not going to use it?
Yeah.
There's so many naked inhibitors. They just really want to capitalize on poor positioning and pick up an inhibitor here. And it looks like the top inhibitor,
they have to split up.
They're getting very deep. She goes in, but
having to push bot because of super minions.
Man, that was actually really well done by Infinity, just hitting with Vault Breaker and immediately backing up, forcing a bait disengage from Nami's ultimate. Now Nami's ult isn't going to be up. The next time they want to disengage, it's not going to be there. which also effectively limits the amount of champions that Yasuo can ult. And with a 100-second cooldown, that's a tough thing to whiff. So following that whiffed ultimate, they're actually forced to back up. They're really their only hope of fighting against a team with Baron buff was to really land a really nice C chain against either Fugus or the rest of the team.
Yep.
I like how it's either you hit Ryze or you hit everybody else.
Yeah.
It's not like you want to hit like just Thresh. You have to hit just Ryze.
Yeah. If you're gonna single out anyone on to be determined right now, it is definitely Fugus being the hugest, being Ryze, and with that Baron buff makes him even stronger.
See, the thing is, even with 311 CS, Corki doesn't have as much damage as he could hope for.
No, and it looks like he's even trying to get some sustain with that Giant's belt, probably getting that that frozen mallet.
Really, all they're afraid of is Ryze at the moment, because Corki, you know, he's not quite as tanky. It's pretty easy to burst down, especially when you have somebody like Yasuo or Wukong.
Yep.
So if Fugus can control his positioning well and always be there and bait them out, they're going to be able to catch back up in gold. And that's going to be... Admittedly, it's not going to do quite as well for them because the late game, I believe, tend to favor No Money, No Honeys. They've got a lot of late game champs. Nami especially being one of... Like, if you're going to pick a true support, like her late game support is pretty strong because of how much move speed you give.
It definitely allows you to just push like there's no tomorrow.
And giving mood speed to somebody like Wukong, so he can get in there and engage better, is really important.
And that speaks volumes to, once again, the team synergy that No Money's No Honeys has put into getting their team. That movement speed buff to Yasuo, helping him get his shield back. The movement speed to Lucian, helping with the culling. The movement speed to Shyvana, who's already very mobile.
Yep, just already enhances her her character strengths. And, oh man, those are some high CS numbers, folks. This is some high CS numbers.
This, in a bronze or silver or even gold game, these numbers would be in maybe the 200s. Right. This definitely speaks volumes to the experience level of these players.
I like how Yasuo is aiming for the Banshee's Veil pickup to block just even a little bit of Ryze. Also, importantly, there isn't a whole lot to... Like, there isn't a whole lot of targeted CC to block. And if you're going to get hit by anything, as Yasuo, it's going to be Vi's ult.
Vi's ult or Ryze locking you down.
Right, you're not going to be getting hit by this incidental damage as somebody who's waiting in the back lines, waiting to ult in.
Right. There's no Cassid in this game.
Right. And we actually see Baron coming up in 1 minute along with Dragon. So the fact that both of these are coming up near simultaneously is actually going to be pretty interesting because whoever gets one, the opposing team is going to get the other, unless they contest. Which, you know, it could be dangerous. There's a lot of AoE output from Ryze, and there's...
To be determined picked up the first Baron, melted the opposing team, and went down, got Dragon. Then we had a great team fight. To be determined went ahead, took the daring Baron, and then No Money's No Honey said, all right, cool, you have it. We'll wait. We'll go get Dragon. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
Yep, and that's what they've done, and it's worked out. It's worked out decently. They haven't lost any towers.
They have not lost a tower. Meanwhile, the inhibitors are back for to be determined.
But the fact that they're unprotected against you know, a high 80 output team, they're not going to matter once the team fight is over.
And it looked like Infinity Des was caught out, but the Lantern saved him. Grab your lanterns.
And with so many towers up for No Money, No Honeys, they have an effective free health because it's going to take them so long to power through and grind down just a massive amount of health that many towers has that they would need to lose 2 engages.
And it looks like they're going to try to contest Baron. An excellent hook
Shorter
on
ace
Shorter
going
Ace.
in. Oh man, Fugus up on the front line. If they can get a good engage, here is Wukong grabbing both Soraka and Fugus.
Engage, an ult by Yasuo.
And that is exactly what they needed. Excellent focus by Shorter Ace and Temp Mid as they clean up that game. A very convincing 4 for 5. Thresh forced to back. I don't see him solo defending this, especially with a minute-long respawn timers and no towers up following
With
this.
so much AD on the other team, that could be game.
The best he can do is to bait them into not attacking the towers, which, to be fair, Kimura should probably be turning back and pulling down these inhibitors. And we're going to see super
Looks like
creeps.
they're going to take the inhibitors
Nope, they're going straight for the Nexus.
for the end.
And, you know, that's respectable because even with super creeps, it's still a possibility of a comeback. But
Oh,
if you
yes.
just kill the Nexus, that's all there
And
is
there
to it.
goes Thresh.
A excellent game. The fastest game.
Started at the bottom.
It started at the bottom.
Now you're here.
No Money, No Honeys takes it. Following the bracket reset in favor of to be determined. Well executed. Well drafted